We're going to do a little bit of a switch up making dinner tonight. Instead of just regular tacos, we're going to make some crunchwrap supremes with some cheesy jalapeno sauce. And in true Amy form, there's no recipe for this. I'm just kind of going as I go here. And then we will end up making measurements for the cheese sauce and putting it in the description. If you're just meeting me, my name is Amy Cross, and this is The Cross Legacy, where I teach you to use simple ingredients you already have in your house and mix it up and make fun meals. And recently I started making black beans a new way also that Mike really enjoys. So I'm going to teach you how I've been making these black beans, and I don't rinse them. So that's a key thing when you're putting them into the pan. So for the black beans, I'm going to use the entire can of black beans and put it into the pot. Don't rinse it, put the juice in there also. And then I add a teaspoon to a tablespoon of cumin into the pot. And if you have any lemon or lime juice, also add about a half of a lemon or lime of juice into the pot and let that warm up and mix up for about 10 minutes. And then oftentimes I will take a fork and just kind of mash some of them up so you kind of get that refried bean texture, and then some of the whole beans are still in the pot. And you can also chop up some cilantro and add that at the end. So on the stovetop, we are going to make a cheese sauce. We are going to be making a roux. If you've never made a cheese sauce before, I will be walking you through the steps as I do it. And then we're going to be adding some jalapeno to that, and that is going to go down on the flour tortillas. For the cheese sauce, I'm going to put butter in the pan and then equal parts butter to flour, and let that flour cook a little bit as the butter is melting. And then I'm going to add as much cheese as I want into the pan, which will probably end up being a little bit over a cup of cheese. And then to thin it out a little bit, I add a little bit of milk. And then as I'm mixing that up to make the sauce, then I will add diced jalapenos in it. We have tacos often at our house, and I make sure whenever I make taco meat that I triple or quadruple the portions of it so I can put it away into glass containers into the freezer, and that way my taco meat is all ready to go for taco night. And I normally just use romaine lettuce anytime we're using anything for tacos. I just use the lettuce that I have on hand. I don't necessarily buy a special lettuce for tacos. And then I'm going to be adding peppers and onions. We have some cilantro and just all of the things that you would want on a taco. We also haven't been to the grocery store in over 2 weeks, and we will be adding some fresh avocados to this meal. So as I'm cooking the rest of this, we just found out that our family is coming over, so it might mean that I do a lot of B-roll for this and do a voiceover later, but I am so glad to be able to live close to my family now. If they want to get out of their house for a little while and come over, they are always welcome, even in the middle of filming. Normally I only have taco-sized tortillas at the house, and I will show you a way that I fold this up into triangles to make it work. And I just sneak a couple chips in there and it gives it the crunch, and that's the easiest way to do it. But I did get some burrito-sized tortillas so I can show you the right way to do it. So you're going to take your tortilla and put your knife right in the center of it and then cut along to the edge. In that first section, you're going to put the cheese sauce down on the tortilla. In the next section, you can add your beans or meat to it. And in the third section, then add the other one, either the beans or the meat. In your fourth section, you're going to add any of the veggies that you're using. Now it comes the time to fold it up. So you want to take the veggie part and fold that in towards the center, and then wrap it around the circle as you see me doing. This will give you a nice little triangle of a pocket, and with the cheese being the last one that you fold up, it will help hold it together. Now you can serve it just like this, or you can go on to the next step, which is my favorite, and I put a little bit of butter in a pan, and then I cook it on each side for a couple seconds. That helps it get golden brown. And at the end, I tuck some tortilla chips in it, and then you have all of the crunchy wrap supreme goodness in something that you already have the ingredients for in your house. It's just one of those things that you use what you have on hand, and it can still be fun and special. The other version of this I make is with a large burrito-sized tortilla, and then I also use a corn tortilla. We're going to take the corn tortilla and put it in the pan with a little bit of butter or oil and cook it on both sides until it gets a little bit crispy. If you happen to have a tostada, then you can add that instead of the corn tortilla. So after the corn tortilla is cooked, I will set that aside. And then on the large burrito flour tortilla, then I will put the cheese sauce in the middle of that, adding a few scoops of taco meat to that, and then some of the beans. Then we add the cooked corn tortilla on top of that to hold it together. And this is where you can add some Greek yogurt or sour cream and then top it with any of the produce items that you want to add. And then you're going to top that with the second corn tortilla. And now you are going to wrap the burrito around the top of the corn tortilla and then gently place this upside down in a pan. I end up using 2 spatulas to flip it over the other way so it doesn't fall apart. And then once it's browned on both sides, then I put it on the cutting board and cut it in half. Now this is big enough that one of these feeds 2 people in my family. So either way that you want to make this, it's kind of a fun switch up than having just regular tacos or soft tacos. And you're still using the same ingredients that you bought for a normal taco night, and just makes it something fun and interesting for your family. Make sure to hit subscribe and follow along as I teach you more recipes using basic ingredients that you have in your house.